Hey everyone, Mitch coming in for the Commander's Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, well, I am making you aware of some incredible cards right now that are less than $2. You should be picking them up right now. There's a card list link in the description below. Now with all that said, let's jump into them. First up, an oldie but a goodie from all the way back in 1999. Now, this card is not for every deck, but for the decks that want it, my goodness, this is so good. You maybe never seen this card, but Crumbling Sanctuary is an artifact for 5 mana. It's also written in an old way, but here we go. For each 1 damage to be dealt to a player, that player removes the top card of their library from the game instead. Basically, if you get dealt damage, you exile the top card instead. So, essentially with this, you are changing up the way the game works. You are saying, you know what, life totals, those don't matter, don't worry about those. What does matter is the number of cards in your library. And so, when you are using a deck that can, well, do some weird things with exile, that could be something, or, losing cards in library, sure. But just like, at the very least, a control deck. A deck that does not win through combat. A deck that does not win through damage. A deck that just says, you know what? All we're doing instead is saying, okay, our life totals are basically like, 85, or how many cards are in the library when you put this down. You slow down the pace of the game. You give yourself a bigger opportunity to actually win when it comes to, well, again, utilizing your control strategy. Again, having a combo win, having an alternative win condition win, and also just seeing the look on players' faces that are playing Voltron decks when you play this. It's like, oh, yeah, damage is prevented. Good luck! Next up, Tendershoot Dryad. $1.80 right now for this gem. A 2/2 Dryad with Ascend for 5 mana in green. Again, Ascend meaning that you gotta have 10 or more permanents to get the City's Blessing for the rest of the game. And, yeah, that's super easy to do in Commander, especially with this. I mean, this can just do it on its own. Literally, if you had nothing else in play, it would do it on its own very quickly. Beginning of each upkeep, you get a 1/1 sapling creature token. Saplings you control get +2/+2 as long as you get the City's Blessing. I mean, even if this didn't give the pump effect to the team, you are still getting 1 token every single upkeep. Not just your own, every single upkeep, which is insane. So you get this down, all of a sudden, next turn comes around, and you've got 5 creatures instead of just the 1. Next turn, 9. It's absolutely incredible how much insane token production this can have. And again, literally, a City's Blessing, it's going to happen. I mean, it probably happens with 1 trip around the table and you having 4 saplings, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, instead of this being technically 6 power across 5 bodies for 5 mana in 1 turn, it is, really quick math right there. Well, each of them have 3. Multiplied by 4, that's 12, plus the 2, that's 14 power across 5 bodies. And of course, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger throughout the game. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. A giant token generator. Pick it up right now. Next up, super simple but super effective, Lord of Change, a 6/6 demon for 7 mana in blue for $1.93 right now. Flying in Ward 3, already great right there. That being said, when it enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards. Yeah, that's pretty incredible. Again, ETB, draw 3, that is really nice. Yes, it is 7 mana, but you're still, again, getting a 6/6 evasive creature that has protection. Again, Ward 3 is not technically hexproof, but it is like massive deterrent from your opponents ever going, well, I could Swords to Plowshares it, but that's going to cost me 4 mana. Yeah, and even if they try to do that, when you are playing this card, the type of deck that this really shines in is, well, demons, flyers, sure, but more so blink decks. Decks that can utilize ETBs again and again and again and again. Oh my goodness. Again, literally just, hey, ETB, draw 3. Oh, sure, okay. Blink it, draw 3. Have it come back from the graveyard, potentially, for Reanimator style decks as well. Draw 3. Feign Death type effects, which is kind of the same thing as that ish, but not really. Draw 3. Any way to get that ETB again and again and again, you are going to have so much value out of this amazing flyer. Next up, just underneath our threshold of $2, we've got $1.99 for Blind Obedience, an enchantment for 2 mana. In white, it's got Extort, artifacts and creatures opponents control enter the battlefield tab. This is actually a version that will not confuse newer players as to why it has to be played, well, in any kind of, deck that has white and not just like, oh, it can't be played in, a deck that's not Orzhov, Yeah, because it's fair, because it's a weird rule, but, in parentheses, the Extort, reminder text. Okay, anyways. Basically, with this one, again, you are slowing your opponents down a ton. Again, artifacts and creatures coming to play tap, that's huge. Again, any kind of a mana rock they're playing, they are not getting immediate value out of that. They aren't able to go Soul Ring, tap. Instead, they go Soul Ring, sad. Oh, no. Anyways, they're still going to be happy when they play a Soul Ring. They're just going to be less happy. Extort, that is a huge, huge, huge thing, especially in Commander. Again, whenever you're playing any spell, you can pay 1 extra mana, either white or black, and all of a sudden, you're like, hey, yeah, every opponent lose a life, and I'll gain that much life? Sweet, good for me. Training your opponents so quickly throughout the game, just an extra little bit of drain, but it really does add up. And, of course, padding your life total. So, of course, control strategies can love this. Life gain strategies can love this. Drain strategies can love this. Absolutely a very solid card. But now let's go way back to 1995. Oh my goodness. 30 years ago, enchantment for 2 mana in white, Island Sanctuary, $1.93. Again, written in an old weird way, but here we go. During your draw phase, you may draw 1 less card from your library. If you do so until the start of your next turn, the only creatures that can attack you are those who flying around and walk. Basically, skip your draw. Okay, if you choose to do that, yeah, until next turn, you can't get attacked unless the creature's got flying or island walk. That's pretty sweet. This is an amazing card. Now, obviously, you don't just want to play it like, okay, turn 2, all right, I play it. All right, I can't draw any more cards, and I've got no draw engines, and I'm stuck. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can still play it, you just don't choose to do that, obviously, but here's the thing with this one. If you have this in the right deck, again, a control-type strategy, a Pillow Fort-type strategy, a Feldergriff deck, I love this in my Feldergriff deck, you definitely have other ways to create card advantage. You've got some amazing spells to draw some cards. You've got some amazing repeat effects to draw cards. And when you do so, this is a amazing card at just going, yeah, you're not coming anywhere near me. There's plenty of times where there are absolutely no creatures with flying in play, and most definitely times, almost all the time, creatures without Island Walk too. Because Island Walk isn't really that common. So with this one, essentially, it's like, okay, I have a 2-mana Ghostly Prison, basically. That is just like a perma-lock in Ghostly Prison, where like I just cannot be attacked at all. Yeah, it's at the cost of a card, but again, once you're at a certain point in the game, 1 card is not a lot of value compared to being like, okay, for an entire 3 turns, again, each of my opponent's turns, I am not getting attacked, which is amazing. It's a crazy good card. Pick it up. And yet another white enchantment. Apparently I've got 3 on this episode that I'm going to bring up. We got Divine Visitation. $1.93 for this amazing card. 5 mana in white. If 1 or more creature tokens be created under your control, that many 4/4 white angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance are created instead. Yeah, this is such a good card. It says, okay, you know what? Anthems are nice. They are. They are definitely nice, and anthems can still work really well. But you know what's nice? Just saying, okay, all those tokens I was gonna make, now they're just much more massive and much more deadly. Again, let's say you're going to be making, I don't know, 1/1 warrior, with Secure the Waste. Cool, all right, you're going to make, like 10 of those, whatever you're going to make, okay? Because, yeah, that's an X spell. Okay, I probably should tell you what it is. It's 1 mana, a single white mana, and X, and it's an instant, and you make, I think it's warriors anyways. You make that many. Instant speed. Cool. All right, so with this, instead of it being like, okay, if I put 7 mana into that in total and I make 6 of them for that X, cool, that's 6 power across 6 bodies. Great, good for me. If I do that with this in play, all of a sudden, I am making 24 power across 6 bodies that are also evasive with flying, and they've got vigilance so they can swing and stay back on defense too. And it costs me the exact same amount of mana to do that. Once this is in play, that's just icing on top of the cake. Every single time you're going to make, again, whatever miscellaneous tiny creature. Again, Avengers Zendikar comes in play and makes 0/1 plants. Okay, cool. Let's turn them into 4/4 flying angels instead. Whatever it's going to be, you basically get better versions of those creatures, and now they're evasive, and now they can keep swinging. It's absolutely incredible. Any kind of a token strategy, pick it up. Moving on, I am a huge proponent of transmute cards. I love them. I think they're absolutely incredible and so much fun and just so good. Muddle Mixture is one of the best ones out there. $1.81 for this gem. Instant for 2 mana in blue. Counter target instant or sorcery spell. I mean, objectively worse than counterspell, right? Because, I mean, it's the same cost and you limit what you can counter. Sure, okay, objectively worse. But also in some ways better. I mean, depending on the deck, obviously. Counterspell is an amazing card. But this is one where it says, you know what? Okay, instead of just countering something, I'm also a tutor. And basically an uncounterable tutor. Transmute for 1 blue, blue, discard it, search live for any card that costs 2 in your deck, basically, put it in your hand, and that can't be countered. I mean, it can be stifled, okay, like counter an ability, but it can't be actually a straight up counter because it's not being cast when you're doing that. You are just actually activating that. So this is basically, again, an uncounterable tutor that also can be a counter when you need it. Ironically, it can't counter, you know, like if an opponent muddles the mixture, you know, transmuting it, you can't muddle the mixture countering it, which is hilarious. That being said, things are muddled. Being able to, again, have that flexibility of being a way to stop an opponent or a way to advance your gameplay. Yeah, again, like if you've got any kind of powerhouse card at 2 mana, there are plenty of them out there that you're going to go get. Any kind of a card that you're like, oh, hey, you know what? I've got a little combo going, and let's go get that other piece of the combo. Cool. It is such a flexible card, such a good card. Go pick it up. Moving on, let's move on to a sorcery, though, with Contest of Claws. $1.87 for this one. Sorcery for 2 mana in green. Target creature you control deals damage equal its power to another target creature. If excess damage is dealt this way, discover X, where X is that excess damage. Here's the thing. When it comes to fight spells, I mean, we're getting so many of them in the most recent years that, like, okay, most fight spells are like, all right, my creature fights your creature. Typically, if it's just that, it's basically 1 mana. And sometimes instant speed too. But yeah, it's basically 1 mana for the most part. Okay, it's not always instant speed, but yeah, 1 mana. Anyways, being able to just go, okay, my creature takes out your creature, that's great. You're paying 1 extra mana for the most part, but when you do pay that 1 extra mana, there's a little extra, effect that you're getting. And this one is an insane one. This is a crazy good one. If you're playing this type of card, either your commander has a massive amount of power, which is great, or you just have a big stompy deck, lots of creatures in the deck, a dinosaur type deck where all the creatures are massive. Here's the thing with that. You're going to be able to pick and choose the situation when to use this. If you're like, okay, you know what, that one big creature over there is a giant problem. Okay, cool. All right, fine. Take out the giant creature with your giant creature. You might get something value out of that, discover if you need to. That being said, there's going to be plenty of opportunities to go, oh, I've got this massive 10 power creature. My opponent, yeah, I mean, they got like some creatures. Like, there's like no big threats out there though. But there is like a little 1/1 soldier just sitting over there. Okay, let me just do this. All right, so I'll pay 2 mana. I'll fight it, and I'll have 9 excess damage. Oh my goodness, I get to discover 9? Yeah, I mean, basically kind of like Cascady-ish. For just 2 mana, so much value to be had. Pick it up. Next up, a land that can be any land. This land is your land. This land is my land. Vesuva land. $1.74. You may have end of the battlefield tab as a copy of any land on the battlefield. Again, being able to just be like, all right, this land is whatever that is. This land is whatever that is. Of course, it can be one of your lands, okay? If it needs to be, you're like, oh yeah, I already got a command tower in play. You know what? I really could just use another command tower. Sure, it's a little slow with Vesuva. Yes, it is. It does come and play tapped. That being said, being able to be like, okay, I get to just pick like whatever the most optimal land is to either fix my mana or again be a utility land or something insane like a Gaia's Cradle. Yeah, it can be that too. Again, if an opponent has Gaia's Cradle, you're like, oh yeah, cool. Hey, yeah, it's mine now, and I only paid $1.74 instead of $1,000 for it. There you go. Or again, if you need like a Bajuka Bog and someone's got one of those and play, oh yeah, cool, I get a Bajuka Bog, great, okay. Or like if you have a secondary copy of it now, if you need to as well. It is a card that can again be any land. It can help you fix your mana amazingly. It can be a great utility land when you need it to be. It can be a combo piece when you need it to be as well in certain ways. It is such a good card. Pick it up. And finally, Reliquary Tower. $1.84. This land sees so much play in Commander. You've got a maximum hand size and it taps for a colorless. This card has fluctuated its price a lot over the years. I mean, even to being like, I think like $4 or $5 at one point. Regardless, it is a card now that is under 2. Go pick it up if you've been waiting for this kind of a card that's like, you know what? I don't like discarding my cards, just like end of the turn, like, I just don't want to do it. I just want to draw cards and hold on to every single one of them. So by being able to do that with just a land that's not really taking a base spot in your deck, it's also not slow, but it can't help you fix your mana. It is such a good card. It is a card that I do think in some ways, I'm not saying always, is a bit overplayed when it comes to like, all right, I'm in a 5-color deck and I'm going to play this. It's like, oh my gosh, all right, go for it. Yes, there are certain 5-color decks that can actually utilize it and make it work. It is a choice, though. It's not just like auto throw in every deck, but it is such a good card, especially, of course, for colorless decks, duh. For 1-color decks, for 2-color decks. Yes, even 3-color decks can utilize a certain number of utility lands. Once you get into like 4, you're like, all right, let's be a little more, cautious about when we're just throwing in colorless lands. But still, such a good card. Pick it up. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.